Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here. We're going back into the Cavalier difficulty of this month's event quest. This is in chapter 2.1. This is the Morningstar boss, and I got all the fights that I did, and a few good options, few bad ones. Just kind of trying some things out. And on this first one is a good option, but so this has Languor. So basically, don't ever plan on throwing a special 3 because that will kill you. It's got buff toggle with where she'll get unstoppable and unblockable L1, and then power snack. So torch, I should have nuked this chick, but one thing that I guess I was just a little too ingrained with how I use torch a lot is I love to block when I'm facing against a mystic to just build up the smolders, and makes his damage output really significant. And this chick is just melting, and just remember she has unblockable L1, and so if you try to block that, you will pretty much die. And you will see that coming up very shortly. We push her to L2, no problem. Does get a little bit of power gain from the from the power snack. I think it's like right here. And you see, I just went to block it. Like, oh, I'll block this, build some smolder. No, you can't block an unblockable L1. And yeah, that just wrecked pretty much a full health rank 3 torch. Oof, yeah, don't do that. So I just went and reread the nodes. I'm like, oh, unblockable L1. Yeah, so anyways, go back in with Thing. Thing is also an awesome counter for Morningstar. Can't bleed. She does take off a bunch of the rock stacks here and there with those bleeds. It converts them into fury. Not a big deal. Thing is immune to power snack because he's immune to nullify, and because she can't nullify, the power snack doesn't come into play ever. So she's just got her regular power gain, and then yeah, just make sure with Languor, I don't think I did this on any of the fights, but if you happen to be like right at 1 bar of power, 2 bars of power, and you throw a special, you're gonna go back down to 0 and you will die. And then if you get to a special 3, just don't throw it, because if you throw it and you don't kill her with that, you will also die. So just be aware of that. Thing finishes off what I messed up on torch, and we're gonna go into this next battle. And who do I use? I'm trying to think. I use a couple options. I was just kind of trying to test out a few different things with some bleed immune, some not. Oh yeah, this is the one where I try to use Elsa. So I got her fairly recently, and I know she does a decent degen when she's bleeding. And so I'm looking over these nodes, and I think I go into her abilities, because I'm like, how potent is this bleed? Can like Elsa even do it? And so I have about 30k health, and I'm looking at this, and I'm going through, and bleed is for, what was that? Is that third? I think I missed it right there. 1,310 over 5 seconds. So I'm thinking, that's not too potent, but this has also additional attack and whatnot. And yeah, the bleed is way too overpowered to have Elsa as a viable option. I was thinking maybe I could, be bled and then do some decent degen to her. Yeah, I mean, that degen is only going for what, 250, but the bleed on me is for 525. So 525 per tick. I have 30k health. Yeah, I have 30 seconds worth of damage to do, and it just ain't gonna work. So this was just a failed experiment, trying some things out. If I had coagulate, and you didn't get smacked in the face, maybe if you had coagulate, maybe a higher willpower. I only have 1 out of 3 willpower. Maybe it's a viable option. And if you have like a rank 2 or rank 5 or a rank 3 6-star, maybe she could work, but that bleed's it's just too strong. So I go in with Luke Cage. Luke Cage should do fine. He's bleed immune. He's got those exhaustions, which should reduce some of the power gain if you happen to dex and you have a bunch of those on her. Because his fatigues, I can't remember exactly, but I know if you stack a whole bunch of fatigues, he can actually reverse some of the power gain. And I'm just going to make the same mistake that I did with Human Torch and block an L1. I think I'm going to try to block it. Or do I should have just pushed her to L2. Yeah, right there. I just try to block. I'm like, why am I trying to block an unblockable L1? It's not smart. It's not smart because it will kill you. Yeah, so I'm looking at my team. I'm like, who do I use? And I'm thinking, I brought all these skill attackers for the skill path. I used Nick Fury, and he just absolutely destroys the whole map. And so I'm like, well, I'll go in with Blade. And I originally forgot about Blade's danger sense. She is one of those dimensional beings, so danger sense applies, which is good, because you'll notice that like the toggle buff with the unstoppable, it fails to trigger several times, and I think I'm also reducing the chance to actually get the bleed on me. And then Blade's just good because as you get power, as your power bar goes up, any of those debuffs, the time is reduced. So you can see that those bleeds fall off pretty quick. And so I'm like, well, that's good. Blade should be able to finish this off. And yeah, I can regen if I need it, but I'm pretty much just going to redline this fight so that the bleeds just get instantly popped off. I mean, those are going for 263 a tick, so the potency on them has been reduced from the danger sense, and they just, one tick at 263 here and there. Well, I can just hold block and regen it back if I really need to do that. And yeah, I was just watching out for the toggle buff, and you can see that it keeps trying to apply and it doesn't, which is really nice. But it does come back, which is unfortunate. I wish it would go away permanently. Like there, it went away, and see there it came back. So yeah, so Blade is actually a decent option for this fight. If you're looking for an alternative that is not bleed immune, Omega Red. I think I had Omega Red in AQ. He would be great for this fight as well. Yeah, and pretty much any bleed immune. This Morningstar really doesn't have anything going for her. Just watch out for the unstoppable coming up every once in a while, and then just don't block an L1, and you will win the fight. So yeah, so there, she finally did get the unstoppable, which is kind of funny because it was in my assassin's range, so you'd think all of those failures before, and then she finally gets it, but we finish her off before it can apply again. Blade finishes off. My experiment with Elsa failed. Poor play with Luke Cage. That failed. Blade cleans up. And I think on this next one, I use Ghost. Let's see. Yeah, I have Ghost on the team with Hood. No Wasp. And then I have Blade and Ghost Rider this time, which I think I was gonna consider using Ghost Rider, because Ghost Rider, he's one of my original favorites. He's a really solid champ. Damage output is not great. Longer fights, but man, he can just last forever. And so here we got Ghost. I'm not like a Ghost super player or anything like that. I'm still hoping to get her awakened someday. I'm just doing one hit phase. Hopefully I'll get the bleed on me and I can phase it off and convert it into a Fury. And yeah, this Morningstar is going down. trying to phase through a lot of that special. You know, I mean, I just can't imagine getting the extra power gain from doing all of this. That would be really, really nice, because it really makes the fight a lot longer when you don't get that power gain. Because I just see people get to L2 and then throw it, and then they're just wrecked. Kind of got lucky there, didn't get punished when she had the unstoppable. But yeah, you know, Ghost is a great champ. I don't use her a lot. Maybe I will in the future. But yeah, Ghost can obviously manage this fight, especially if yours is awakened and higher sig. The more power gain you get, right? So I think I'm just trying to keep baiting her L1, which her L2 is nothing. I probably should bait the L2 as well, but I think I'm just worried about maybe the power snap pushing her to L3, which again, I do have Hood on the team, so I should be able to just phase and not take any damage. But yeah, Ghost does this fight for sure. I'll let the rest of this play. I think I hit her with a pretty good L2, I think. Nah, nothing too crazy. I didn't have anything really going on there. Probably should have thrown a heavy and built up some extra furies. But yeah, I'll let this play out and we'll get to the next fight in just a moment. Alright, we're going in on this Morningstar again after we took down the last one with a Ghost. And this one I was just going to try Vision. I really like Vision. His power control is very, very good. My Vision isn't really very high sig. I think it's only like sig 30 or 40 or something like that. And so I'm just going to try to control this fight, not let her get to many specials at all. Hopefully I won't have to try to block the unblockable specials like I had in the past. And I do have Iron Man Infinity War on the team, and that's going to allow me to do a little bit of extra damage on the specials power burn with that synergy going on. Obviously Vision's bleed immune, so solid option to use. And you know, his damage is not like great, but like his playstyle is simple. You just kind of go with the flow. You don't have to worry a lot about baiting or evading specials. He can pretty much control a lot of the fights. And you know, I'm taking what, 260 a block on those parries. You know, I can take a whole bunch of those. And yeah, we're taking this down. And in the middle of the fight, it was getting towards bedtime. I had to put the kids to bed, and I'm like, oh, let me just finish this off. And then I had two of my kids like over my shoulder watching me, and got distracted, and I'm gonna get smacked. And you'll see. I think I get up around. I think I actually get to like 25% or something like that. Maybe it's more. But Vision can easily solo this fight. I would love to take this guy to rank 5, but I have a really hard time now trying to throw in my tier 5 basics and the tier 2 and mainly the tier 2 alpha that it costs to rank up 5 stars, just because I feel like I've been getting so many tier 5 basics that it's really hard to get the tier 2 alphas to use them. at least as a free-to-play player. I mean, I'm one of the crazy free-to-play players where I play a ton. I do manage my resources pretty well, but I've just been noticing, so like I used to buy a lot of tier 5 basic shards in the glory store. I've stopped doing that, switched it with the tier 5 class catalyst, and then I'm just buying tier 2 alpha shards. And yeah, I still need to get a few to kind of level it out, but so ranking up 6 stars to rank 2, even though they're unawakened, it's cheaper, and it costs less tier 2 alpha, and even though it costs 3, it helps me to unload some of those tier 5 basics. So yeah, I'm waiting for the day that they offer the 6-star vision, because I do think he's valuable. I mean, he's not the hardest hitting champ in the game or anything like that, but he has a great utility. And so this is when I got destructive, got smacked, and I only have 6% health left, so I don't have a lot of blocks available to use. And I think I try to start going for some intercepts, and then yeah, I just die. So didn't end well. And so about 20 minutes later or so, kids are all in bed, and we're gonna go in and try Iron Man Infinity War. So he is bleed immune when he has an armor up, and so I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I could get this to last and take out this Morningstar. This is only a rank 1 6-star unawakened, but man, when I don't have that armor up, whew, those bleeds, they hurt. You know, this one's going 525 a tick. I'm only healing for 73, so I'm doing what, 450 a tick, so 900 damage per second, and it adds up quick. I'm like, come on, hit me when I block. Can't I trigger my armor up? There, we finally get an armor up, so we're gonna be able to hit, but she's kind of, I'm keep trying to bait the L1s. I should have just pushed her to L2. And there, the armor up falls off. I never hit her, never took advantage of being bleed immune. There, comes back again. But I don't have a lot of health left, and I'm pretty certain I don't get hit in this fight, and all of the damage, I mean the block damage on the parries is very, very small, but all the damage that I take is for bleed, and I just bleed out, and I wasn't able to finish her off, which I was kind of sad about. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, where's my armor ups? No. I die again. And so I'm like, I was like, oh, I could use Ghost Rider. I'm like, oh, I'll just use Fury. He still has his LMD. So once I get that Fury activated, as long as I don't get it power snapped, he should be able to do some pretty good damage. And I don't have that much damage to do in the first place. I'm trying heavies to shrug off the bleeds as well, and I don't know if that didn't work, or I just restarted a new one. But man, I'm ticking away. And there, I do it Dex just in time for my Fury to activate, which was nice. So I'm going to be hitting harder. Only 10% left. I think I hit her with an L2 and it kills her. Yeah. So obviously his Fury is not a good option to use, but he does clean up work. So got that Morningstar down. Again, not ideal. I died. I can't believe I'm dying so much on these Cavalier bosses, but just trying some new things. And last up, we're going in with Black Widow Clairvoyant. Now, she is bleed immune in her first state. You can switch out to poison or incinerate, but I'm not. I'm just going to stay in bleed. And the one nice thing with her being in bleed is if you do heavies, she is bleed immune, and so you can build up charges and gain a ton of power very, very, very fast. Able to have those clairvoyant charges on. It's easy access to nullify the unstoppable, and the L2s are going to put on buff immunity, which is going to prevent them from coming up. And yeah, it doesn't prevent it for the whole fight. They do come back, kind of like the blade fight where Danger Sense would have it not trigger, but it would come back. So there we go. We got buff immunity, can't go unstoppable, and yeah, I think I'm gonna build up to an L3 now. I think I do have the max. I should have done an L3 on the last one, because once you get up to 20 charges, you don't get the power gain. So this is a somewhat longer fight. I don't know why I'm throwing L2s. Yeah, but let's get back up to an L3. And I know she does decent damage. I'm trying to even actually think, did I throw any L3s? Or did I just kill her with a bunch of heavies? Ideally, you'd get to L3 with 20 charges, throw it, and then get back up with 20 charges and throw it. Because her damage, again, I think it's like, for my masteries, come on, man, what am I doing? Through another L2. I don't need health. I don't need the buff immunity. But her L3, it does like 35k for me. That's kind of like the average with my mastery setup, with like no extra whatever on. Man, I'm just having a field day with L2s. If I were to play this again, I definitely would have thrown an L3 and then cycle through, because the damage is much better. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let this play out. I'm actually kind of frustrated watching me. If you're not, you're like, man, you don't know how to play Claire. I know how to play Claire, but I don't know what I was doing on this. Yeah, why am I keep throwing L3? Like, I don't need to worry about the unstoppable. I can nullify it, but yeah, maybe I'm just trying to go for a big hit count. I don't know. I'll let this play out. I do solo this fight. Nothing too crazy difficult here. Claire does a great job, so I'll see you at the end. Alright, so we're just finishing up, and I don't know, maybe I was just going for a high combo, but I was just spamming the L2s like crazy. I should have been spamming the L3s. This would have lasted significantly less time. It would have been a lot less time, but I do finish with full health. But there you go. Thanks for watching, fellas. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.